50 years ago, our beloved sorority established the Arts and Letters Commission. The goal of the National Arts and Letters Commission has been to advance the Black experience through the arts and to recognize the contributions of Black people. Throughout its history, the Commission has been composed of accomplished members of the sorority, including Lena Horne, Nikki Giovanni, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Angela Bassett, and Daphne Maxwell Reid. The e-learning committee welcomes award-winning producer, director, performer, and co-chair of the National Arts and Letters Commission, Kanera Price, as she shares her views on where we've been and where we are going.
We're so proud of your accomplishments as you are an integral part of our rich African American history that the Commission envisioned, wished to preserve, and wanted to celebrate. How do you think contributions to the arts have changed over the past 50 years?
Well, you know, when Sora Bembo, when she first put out the objectives of on why we should have a Commission on Arts and Letters, as well as the needs at the time, it was extremely important to make sure that we focus on more positive images, as you said, for Black women. And where we have changed from now, we've definitely grown from that. But I do believe that there's still work that we need to do. It may look a little bit different, but I believe that the same goals and the same objectives that Sora Bembo and the first co-chairs at that time established are pretty much the same as today. They may look a little different, a little bit different technology, but we still need to push positive images. We still need to push economic development in the arts and careers for all people of color, I think, in the film and the art industry. So certainly we've done some great things, but we still have a ways to go. So let's celebrate those small steps and continue to look forward.
And following along in that vein, what do you think Soares, Horne, and Price would feel most proud of over the past 50 years?
I think they would feel most proud of just resilience. We are still going. We are still making strides and steps. So I don't think it's one piece. I think it's the fact that as Black women, that we are continuing, and it has not been an easy journey. So I think that struggle and just that persistence is what they would be most proud of, that we still are moving.
There have been 5 important aspects of art that have been mentioned, and I'll list those 5 out. It promotes expression and creativity. It helps all of us develop necessary soft skills. It provides historical context. Art leads to healthy and thoughtful cultural discussions. It gives us a place to gather as a society. Of these 5, which one do you think is most critical and why?
Well, I think it's almost like a puzzle, right? If one of those pieces is missing, then that puzzle is not complete. Every piece leads strength to the other, and it gives strength to the other. So when one of those is missing, the others are covering, but not covering enough. We never can do enough. So I think all 5 are very important.
So it's your opinion that one of them doesn't outweigh the other, they all work as a group.
Right, all connected.
So you are a benefactor of arts and letters. And what's your favorite form of artistic expression?
So my core is performing arts and theater in general. I think that what you learn as an actress either in front of the camera, or if you're and working behind the camera or behind the scenes. There's so much that you are able to gain and glean for self-development and awareness.
Well, can you tell me a little bit more about your form of artistic expression?
So I am, like I said, my core is theater and performing arts. What I do now, I'm a creative producer. But that is also coupled with photography. When I feel something, I'm very empathetic, which I think a lot of artists are. But I like to be able to express that in different ways, and it comes out in different ways. Like, for example, with the whole, in 2020, with the George Floyd, and even during the time with COVID, how I got through that was to express through creativity in poetry and in photography. So that's on one style. But I also, when I just feel something and I want to share it, I also see it very strongly in performance art, as in singing and dancing. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place with that. I don't know how I could answer that in one form.
Well, it doesn't sound all over the place to me. It sounds so rich and so full.
Oh, thank you. I received that.
What impact do you believe Black women have made on the arts?
We are the torchbearers. We are the torchbearers, and we have learned to use every platform that we have to be a voice and to express what needs to be done, especially with social action, I believe. And I think that, so many artists, but especially Black women, use their platform to express the injustices of the world, to really promote our Black children and our future. When I think about songs, I think about Nina Simone, I think about Moms Mabley and comedy. Every platform was a way to tell a story that we needed as a Black people, but also to show our disdain for the injustices for the rest of the world.
Where do you see the commission going these next 50 years?
That's a great question. I believe that we will continue, because as the world evolves, arts and letters will evolve. Every major pivot that we've had in this country, in the world, from way back when, has always had an arts and letters component to it. Arts have always been involved in major pivots. This world is not going to end. As long as we are here, we will evolve, we will have certain revolutions that take place on a large scale or on a micro scale, and the arts will be involved with that. That is what art is. And so I believe that we will continue to grow as the world does. So whatever issues, whatever is the facing front for that's happening modern, I think that the arts will come into that. So, for example, like artificial intelligence right now is huge, and the arts, we're having augmented realities are being used in the arts as well. That all deals with technology. We weren't having that 50 years ago. So we didn't have those forms of arts, and that form of art was not used to tell stories. Where we are right now, that's what we're using. 50 years from now, we may be even more into holograms and to other expressions from a technological standpoint. The arts will stay right up with that.
Well, I do have one follow-up question about artificial intelligence. Do you think it's a benefit or a detriment to creativity?
I think that is dealt with the perspective that it's looked at. I think that there are definitely some areas where it could be a detriment and definitely some areas where it could be a benefit. So I think it's our responsibility to learn how to balance that out, because we are in charge of how artificial intelligence is being used. It is just there. But when we decide to put the energy and the focus to it, that decides if it goes too far in one direction to be a detriment or to be a benefit in the other one. So I think it's our responsibility to realize that we have to have ownership of AI and other technologies and figure out how do we put that back into using that with arts and creativity so that it can be a benefit.
Any concluding remarks, Sora Price? I've really appreciated your time and all of the information that you've provided us.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future with National Arts and Letters Commission and just the perspective on arts and letters. We are more than entertainment, and we will always be more than entertainment. But we have to put that energy behind that to show the rest of the world how we're connected to social action, how we're connected to education, how we're connected to economic development. So I challenge myself and I challenge others to always take the ownership of doing the work to make sure that, that we keep arts as an action and not just as an entertainment. There's always a question of what's next. How do I use what I've just seen? How do I use the motivation or whatever energy this invoked for me, an emotion that's invoked? How do I use that to continue to go forward in life? If it's helping children, if it's protesting, if it's whatever aspect, we should always ask ourselves, what next? If we don't do that, we haven't done the work with arts and letters, and that's in vain, and we don't ever want to do that.
Thank you so much for your leadership. Arts and letters are headed in the right direction.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.